What's up, everybody? Hope they all are well. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? I'm super excited about today's Life That We Love conversation. I have two of literally my favorite people in the world. I have Taylor Hanson. Hanson fans. What up, what up, what up? Taylor Hanson. He's a Hanson brother, but we're also from the same city. So I've had the opportunity to get to know Taylor over the last couple of years. And so I'm going to be talking to Taylor Hanson in the next couple of seconds. Love Taylor Hanson. We got a bunch of Hanson fans up in here. Thank you for joining. Hey, Taylor, whenever you get into the chat, man, whenever you get into the live, just go ahead and request, and I'll go ahead and tap you in. What up? Oh, I think Taylor just joined. Taylor, whenever you're ready, man, I'm ready for you. Dexter Sullivan is going to be my next guest. Dex and I have been friends for almost 10 years now, and it's kind of crazy to think that it feels like just yesterday. But I'm so excited to get to talk to Taylor and Dexter on this live today. I know that y'all are seriously going to benefit from this, and it's going to be a lot of cool just talking to them about life and about the new single. So I'm just waiting for Taylor to request me real quick, and we'll jump right into it. Let me see if I can just request him. I see that you can do that. Let me do that real quick. Or maybe, did he go up there? There we go.
Taylor!
What's up?
What's up, bro? How are you?
I'm good, man.
Dude.
Globe, like sitting in front of our laptops, our computers,
Yeah.
hiding in our bedrooms, trying to be human while we all just grapple with the craziness.
Yeah, bro. It's really a unique time, and like it's a unique time in history. I was thinking about that. Like we're always gonna tell our children, or like when my son comes, he's gonna be born soon. I just told everybody the gender. But whenever he's gonna be coming in May, and it's like we'll always be able to know the year that he was born because of what we're living in right now.
Yeah, well, and what a strange part of his history will be. Oh my, this truly is a mark in history. But hey, one of the best things about the silver lining has been just connected with friends, and so good to see your bright face and energy and all the cool stuff you're sharing. You've got music coming out, right? New music coming out.
Now. Man, we just released a new single, man. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we have literally so many of your fans here joining, man, and so it's cool to see all the people. We have people from Japan, Brazil, and I have a lot of people who support me from Africa. So wherever you're from, go ahead and drop it in the comments real quick. I'm super excited, man. Thank you so much for saying yes, man, to coming on here and just chatting with me for a little bit, bro.
Dude, it's my pleasure. I'm just gonna quick shout out. I'm gonna make you blush, which is to say that Tulsa has great group of music talent, but seeing you perform and seeing the energy you have as an artist, since we connected, I'm just so blown away by you, and I think I want anybody that is interested in music. I mean, it's cool. You're in Nashville now, but you're a Tulsa guy, and we've been
100%
Tulsa love. So this is there's that 2 degrees, 3 degrees of Tulsa. Forget Tulsa's like weird, but you love what you do, and
thank you, man.
My side, that is just getting to know about Brian. You should definitely check his stuff out, and it's not just music, but the heart you have that you can see come through.
Thank you, man. Man, thank you. I truly appreciate that so much, man. So, man, let's just jump right into this. I just want you to talk a little bit about your music career. You've literally had a music career that's spanned close to 3 decades, man. I was looking up just the history, but not only have you been around for 3 decades, you've been successful for 3 decades. There's a very big There's a very big difference, and it's been absolutely amazing, man. So I just really want you to talk a little bit about Hanson and talk a little bit about how Hanson started and just the history and the evolution through the years of the band.
Well, I mean, for one, I think the first mark of success, and have we been successful for that whole time? No, we have not been, but we have been doing it since I was 9. But I think the first mark of success, I mean, you could say you've been successful the minute you're doing something you love.
Yeah.
And you wanted to talk about finding a life that you love, which I think, great song, great message. I have been able to, I can say that for sure. I have to live a life giving a ton to things that I love. And so that is success,
Yeah.
especially when we, really the way it started for me was, I mean, of course, growing up in church, growing up singing and having, creative people around, very creative family.
Yeah.
But nobody was a career artist. Like my mom would say she's an incredible singer, but she just didn't care about the rat race. She didn't want to be in it. She wanted to have a family. She wanted to raise kids. Out of, doing that, had a heart for music. Always, everywhere she was, she would be singing. And so she ended up having 7 kids, and their project was always their family, both of my parents.
Yeah.
But we heard rock and roll, and I don't think anybody, in soul music, I mean, really like singers, like real, like Otis Redding, Aretha Franklin,
Those are your inspirations.
Dude, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles.
Wow.
Ray Charles, and just, I mean, he's Michael Jackson. I mean, and then, on to so many great songwriters and singers. And when I was 9 years old, I remember, we're there performing our first time. We did a festival in Tulsa. It's called Mayfest, still goes, still art.
Yeah.
And it was a community stage, and it was, nothing glamorous. But for us, like, to stand in front of a crowd, even 100 of people that were all basically friends and family, essentially. I just feel like from that moment on, I just could see how powerful being confident in something and doing it with conviction, how that draws good things out of other people.
Wow. Yeah.
Right.
That's so good.
Right. When you see somebody a lot of times people stop doing something that they love, or even afraid of being maybe successful because they're bashful, or like, oh man, I don't want people to think that I think too much of myself, or they're shy about it. It's like, no, when you do something great and you do something that radiates out of you, you don't know how that's going to hit somebody else.
Yeah, that's so true.
Somebody else goes, man, that got me excited. And so, not to say that, that we did that for a bunch of people, but I just remember standing on stage and looking out and feeling like that was where I was supposed to be.
Wow.
And basically we just, we were too young when we started to do gigs at bars. So we just played everywhere else. We played at, block parties and arts fairs. And I mean, we literally would sing at like a Pizza Hut line and get free pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, we would good. And
in 3-part harmony.
Yeah, basically, yes. But I mean, I would say I can speak for me individually. I know that. A sense that you are not necessarily called to do something great, but you are called to do the best with what you have.
Yeah, that's so good.
So that's always been it, and so I mean, you can go through the chronology of everything that's happened. We were, we made indie records locally. We tried to build a fan base before the internet, before anybody, licking stamps. And then,
what did that look like for you? Explain that a little bit. Talk to us about it.
Well, I mean, so I don't know if there's any musicians here, but
if you're a musician, comment.
Yeah, so if you're a musician, comment. So I mean, one of the cool things about being a musician, or that maybe both challenging and important, is, there's lots of different artists, but musicians, like, you have to learn to build an audience. That's part of what it is to be a musician. I don't know what painters stopped getting that lesson and musicians got it. But
that's so good.
In front of crowds, you build an audience. It's of the moment thing. So we basically started by playing anywhere somebody would let 3 kids, sing. And block parties and church gatherings and, potlucks and just anything where there was a crowd, and
Yeah.
you had a combination of my parents were not stage parents at all. They were almost inverse, but they were also,
Yeah.
and so my mom's very like, go get him. Like, don't ever say something to her that you don't want her to do like 3 seconds later, because she'll be like,
Wow.
hey, we should call the president. Let's do that. And and then my dad is essentially like work ethic, just extremely diligent. And so you
Wow.
together, and essentially whenever we had energy or people responded, we would just do the next thing. And I think one of the biggest moments we did, he was like a big, we sang a cappella originally, and it was a church, but it was all I think it was Church of Christ, and so there was no singing, it was just singing. And the three of us up and sang a couple of songs we wrote, and we got a standing ovation. And
wow.
Of course, he had 3 little kids and their sweaters,
looking cute.
It was like, of course, we got a standing ovation. Whether it was good or not, it was perceived like, wow, this can happen. And so you have these moments, and then you go to a school assembly, and all of a sudden you get 1,000 kids that look at you, and they start freaking.
Yeah.
You see these little pockets of early times. Or we had a friend, there's a bar owner that it used to be called the Blue Rose. It was a staple in Tulsa for years. It's now have a different name, but we couldn't play inside, so we played outside by the dumpster.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
So anyway, all those things amassed we just chipped away, and by 2 years in, by the time I was 11 or 12, we had we'd have a little mailing list. People would sign their name down, and we had people we would we'd put together a mailing, go to Kinko's, use lawn like the $150 or $200 we got on the last thing, and we had a little following but it was just, again, it wasn't glamorous at all. It was just by gig, it was, and really nothing's changed. In a way, like, it's not really rocket science. It's like, if you have something that you're proud of and you do, you put it out, and then you hope people receive it.
That's 100%. That's exactly right. I think the funny thing about this whole journey about being a musician that I've learned is a lot of the things that you thought were glamorous aren't really glamorous. Like when you actually peel back the curtain, and when you actually look at the work that goes into releasing a song, releasing an album, touring, doing all these things, it's really unglamorous. But when you love it, and it's something that you take pleasure in doing. And so, man, I just love hearing you say that. And I know when we first met, and we had conversations, like we hung out one time. I think we hung out at the studio. You guys were recording, but we got to talk a little bit. And you were telling me about how you just started building a fan base, and you were grateful for every person who would listen to your music. And I really took that to heart, because, it's easy when you compare yourself to somebody else who has a bigger audience to take for granted the audience that you currently have. And so therefore, you're constantly living a life where you're just waiting for a big number and not embracing the 3,000 fans who love you, which is a lot of people.
Oh, well, and also, you get what you replicate, what you invest in, you get that in multiples as you build it. And if you start with, oh, this is, all I've got is these 4 people, versus, wow, I have 4 people, or I have 4,000 people, then every you get, you're treating, and I say you get, when somebody that joins and decides to be a fan or a follower or feels inspired, you're proud of everybody that wants to join you. And again, that can be kumbaya, but the truth is, it's just the way I would look at it, I've always looked at it is, going back to just doing things you love. It's rare to get to do something you love with your life. It shouldn't be that rare.
It shouldn't be that,
A lot of people feel justifiably like, I've got to do this thing to pay the bills, or, I'm rich and I've got 3 kids, and that's my, I love my kids, but I can't do this and these 7 things all at the same time. And so to be able to do something you love and have the time and the resources to, that's worth fighting for. So every person that joins you to help you continue to be that and wake up every day and do something you care about.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is worth putting in the time for. So it's not really for it if people are with you and you get to do something you care about. And from a point of view of being a fan, I mean, I still go back to, I mean, this week I was talking with my friend Aaron. We did a stream like this a few days ago from AWOL Nation. And we were both just talking about what people are experiencing all over the world, which is how even in the worst of times, art and music is this powerful thread. So it's not hard to be grateful.
So,
I mean, some days it can be, but I guess, but if you step, it's just great to be able to be blessed with spending as much of your time as possible doing something that you care about.
That's so good, man. So, hey, I'm definitely reading the comments. A lot of people are like, they're not reading the comments, but we're reading the comments. And I saw a couple really powerful comments here. One person was like, I started following you when I was 9. I'm 32 now. And that's just a testament to what you have built and what you have done. And another person just thanked you for being who you are. And so, man, that's just so powerful. And a lot of people are asking, who is the interviewer? Who is that guy interviewing Taylor? My name is Brian Nhira, and Taylor has graciously graced this Instagram Live with me. I want to talk to you a little bit, if it's okay, about the single that I just released. And it's called Life That We Love, man. And I've been asking everybody, I've done a couple of these Instagram Lives, and I've asked every person to answer this question for me. What was your first thoughts when you heard the song, when you saw the music video? And again, I'm definitely not fishing for compliments. I really just want to know what people's first reaction to this song and video were.
Well, I mean, for one, I actually love the visuals you had going with the narrative of, the working man, and he's, headed towards the grind of my first thought was really the melody, and I mean, you've got this killer voice, and back to the lyric. I mean, the life that we love. I mean, that is a great little, you've got a great progression happening. It gets in your head, and really like the message. I mean, and nice to see a narrative. I mean, if you're literally talking about, people should go check it out. It's up now, right? Officially.
Yes, it's on my Instagram. A lot of people. My name is Brian Nhira.
Check it out. It's a great.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool, man. I just want to say this before I move on to my next. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just
can you hear me?
Want to say it's a great message, and it's a message of aspiration. A message of
100%.
Yeah, and so that was going through my mind is both trying to be real, because we all have a grind, but I took away the sense of kind of hopefulness. So
and I love when I asked you to talk about what it looks like to live a life that you literally immediately sent me some thoughts that you had. I absolutely loved it. I think that it might be loading real quick. Let me wait for it to load, and then I'll ask him again. Taylor, you there? Taylor will be on in just a second. Thank you all so much for tuning into this with us. I love definitely seeing all the Hanson fans. Taylor and I grew up in the same town. So I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they're from the same city. And so I'm just telling everybody how we grew up in the same city. And so we both grew up in the same city. I always grew up just really looking up to Hanson and looking at everything that they had accomplished and that they had done, and just following their blueprint through the years. I too work with my brother. My brother is my manager, And so it's just so cool having the opportunity to chat with Taylor about all this. Real quick. Oh, I think that he tapped out real quick. Give me 1 second and we'll see if we can get him back in. We'll look to see if we can get Taylor back on. But in the meantime, my music video is called C Dolphin 1479. My music video is called Life That We Love. And you can check it out on my Instagram page. Yes, I'm sure his many kids were crashing the internet. Hello, Irish Green. Hello from Tulsa, Oklahoma. What up, what up, what up? We got a couple questions here. I'm gonna answer these real quick. What music makes you feel? Which is the purpose of your music? I'll answer that question. What is the purpose of my music? Purpose of the music is definitely to inspire people and to make sure that they're living a life that we love. They're living a life that they love. And so if there's any more questions, sing for us while we are here. Okay, there we go, Taylor. I'll get you back in here real quick. There we go. What up, man? We're back.
So sorry, guys.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. You're good, man. You are good, man.
We're spoiled.
I'll just
with,
jump. I want to jump right into
just
my.
Go live across the planet, and
I know.
Sometimes the internet just.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, I wanna jump right into my next question, man. So for you, what does it look like? What does it mean to live a life that you love? What does it mean for you to live a life that you love, Taylor?
Well, I mean, so specifically a life that you love. I mean, well, I mean, for one, I think it's so much of it is it's a choice, you know.
Yeah.
For one, I honestly I have a hard time functioning if I'm not creating things, doing things, you know. Kind of joke, great around when I'm stationary, which is a difficult conversation right now, right? So you find ways to be creative. Can't be mental. You know, people are in different ways, and you know, I need to be creating. You know, making things, pushing things.
Yeah. Same.
For me, it's essential.
Same.
It's
yeah.
And I don't know. Again, I don't. Broad generalizations are tricky too. I see with boys and girls different, you know, kinds of things that are essential. I know I feel like, especially for me, it's either things are getting broken or things are getting made. There's not a lot of middle.
Yeah, that's good. Oh my gosh, I love that. Things are getting broken or things are getting made.
You know, it's like it's not. You know, when you don't have a positive, you know, channel to put your love and your convictions, it usually ends up being destructive. And so it's so important to moving forward. And and so I say for me, it's essential to be in a place of doing things that you care about. But I think a life, if you really go back to living a life that you love, that is also a choice. You know, I mean, it goes back to the difference between the difference between happiness and joy. I mean,
Yeah.
Having joy is something much deeper than I'm happy today. It's
Yeah.
it's about having a sense of meaning, a sense of something that's bigger within you that spills out. And so
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's important and it's critical to be doing things that you care about and that you love. But also, I think there's a choice that you make that says, hey, regardless of what happens, I'm going to decide whether I'm blaming others for the life I'm leading, or I'm angry, or I'm resentful, or I'm depressed. And you get down, people get burdened, people have real issues, but there's so much that goes back to a choice inside that says these are things there's certain things nobody can, that nobody can take my choice to handle myself and to care for others around me, and just sort of. So I think both of those things, it's like recognizing that you have your limits, like you have things you just got to exercise, you have to, that would be destructive channeled, but ultimately, you make a choice in your, to say, I'm going to do the best I can with what I have. And, and so, yeah.
That's so good, man. Well, I believe that like part of living a life that you love is living a life of generosity. And, you have pioneered in our home city, Tulsa, Oklahoma, you've pioneered a movement called the Food on the Move. And I'm not sure if it's a food truck. I can't specifically remember all the details, but the movement is ultimately giving fresh food to people who are in need. Can you talk a little bit more about that? And why did you start that? What was the reason behind and the vision behind starting Food on the Move?
And hey, by the way, there's a little delay, so
go ahead.
Apologies. So
no problem.
A couple of things. I mean, one, so I can tell you what it is, and I'll start backwards. So go what it is and what we're doing, and then I'll rewind.
Please do.
But what it is it's called a mobile food initiative, and it is a collection of partners that are mobile that can go together to areas within Tulsa. And I mean, it was really seen almost as like, if we can learn how to approach this could be something others could look to, because it's such a challenging issue all over the city. And in many cities across the country, you've got communities with food deserts. And, it's really neighborhoods that have declined, neighborhoods that have lost, are economically challenged. And one of the things that goes first, or I say one of the biggest indications of a real sort of lack of community strength, is grocery stores. Grocery stores are hard to keep up. They have small margins. And
exactly right.
Store in your neighborhood is like not having a kitchen in your house. I mean, you don't having a home. And so we do these monthly, we do these events within food deserts, and we work with partners to create these really great events that are pop-up, where we bring fresh produce. We have food trucks that rotate on a rotating cycle. We have health and food partners. We have, people with other partners that have materials with things people may not know that are accessible to them within lower income areas. But the real thing about it is, it's not about Food on the Move is driven by the idea of bridging gaps, building relationships, and working to transform with our community neighborhoods that have every ability to become thriving and growing and prospering, but have just had hard times, and so it's really about, we say it's really about putting ourselves out of a job. It's not about in there to, and so the initiative started 6 years ago, and we've done it since 2014. And we work specifically in areas north of, kind of in the North Tulsa community, but really that was only the beginning. It's not really is an area that has had economic challenges over years, but East Tulsa, West Tulsa, I mean, there's pockets throughout the community that have these challenges, and there's great things happening. We're moving towards launch of a new project that we'll be sharing more about, teaching and training and working with entrepreneurs to have long-term grocery stores come back. And so there's really exciting and positive things coming. right now, we're actually responding to the COVID-19 crisis in a different way because we're so
Yeah.
flexible. We have food trucks, we have restaurants. We're actually working to feed a lot more people in a safe way, preparing
Yeah.
meals, preparing groceries. And then we're going to be doing drop-offs within target neighborhoods where we're going straight to the doorstep without interaction, very, conscious of health and safety, and helping make sure families that are trying to stay at home, that are already economically challenged, maybe also have lost a job that was
Yeah.
barely making ends meet, And so I think right now that's, remotely, I'm like doing my phone thing and, talking to our partners in our different groups and trying to keep something going even when everybody's trying to be safe. But
Yeah.
food, yeah, if anybody wants to find out about Food on the Move, you can go to Food on the Move.
Yes.
And it's really not mine. It's not any one person's. It's built on incredible partnerships, incredible groups. We got a great executive director now who's Kevin Harper, who's used to be at a New Leaf, which is another great nonprofit in town.
Yeah.
Incredible, so many different nonprofits we work with. So yeah, it only works because it really is like a picture of a community that when you see everybody together working, you're like, wow, this feels like community.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And yeah, I mean, I can rewind. It's a long story, but
yeah, I want to hear what the vision was. How did this idea come to life? Because I remember we talked about it briefly when we hung out that a year or two ago. We talked about it a little bit, but what was the vision? How did that come up, man?
Well, I mean, really, I guess for me, it was part of a conscious decision to be here, to be engaged in our own neighborhood, in our own city. We the things we'd historically been more active in advocating were extreme poverty issues and working with nonprofits within areas of sub-Saharan Africa, and also the other things we'd worked on were usually food focused or advocating for arts and music. And as we invested more and more in being in Tulsa and saying, like, we're here, we need to be here. Like, we want to be a part of Tulsa. We want to see our cities thrive. And honestly, I just sort of really felt the desire to learn and listen and be able to sort of not be the one standing out front saying, follow me, but to grow. And there was a former U.S. ambassador that was teaching in Oklahoma, who was this incredible sort of example of bridging gaps and connecting people and doing things that very few people ever do, overcoming adversity. And his name's Ambassador Perkins. Everybody should go, Google him. He was South Africa from the U.S., and his example I thought was so powerful for Tulsa to learn from and for me to learn from. So basically just listened to his story, and out of that basically said to him, we want to be a stronger city. We want to be a stronger community. We want to foster ambassadors. Where would you begin? And we began talking about hunger. And Food on the Move was born because we started then just knocking on doors and saying, okay, where is hunger in our community? What's it?
Yeah.
And hunger issues are like, they're so foundational.
Yeah.
Of food and how that affects people's lives. It's so personal. Everybody is impacted. Sort of music and food. I mean, you've got a few things that everybody, if you say, hey, there's music and there's food. I mean, those are things that everybody shows up. Like I'll be there.
For real.
Or the lack of food and how that affects people's ability to be, to be a part of society, to thrive. It's hard to be an athlete when you don't get great food. It's hard to be an excellent student when you don't get food. So food just has became kind of the bridging point to connect partnerships. And I really, Food on the Move was really more almost looking at food deserts in a creative way of saying, well, how do we connect with people where they are and bridge gaps and work on long-term partnerships to help transform with our neighbors,
Yeah.
and recognize that this is not, none of these things are overnight. You know, this is about just getting to the heart of community, and
Yeah.
that's where it began, and it's been a total journey every year we've done it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's so amazing, man. And I think that's the essence of living a life that you love, is that when you live a life that you love, you empower other people to live a life that they love, and you empower other people in the ways that you're empowering them, man, because it's your pursuit of a life that you love that has ultimately birthed this movement that is helping so many people, man. And so I just kudos to you, man, and just keep up the good work, man. And I'm so glad to call you friend. I really am glad to call you friend.
Dude, right on. I humbled to be invited into the conversation, and you know, we just, again, it's not really about knowing whether what you're going to do is going to make the world tilt on its axis. All you can really do is use, and
That's exactly right, man. That's exactly right.
you just show up, and grateful if what you've done or try and do or aspire to do is on the positive side of the spectrum versus the other, and so right back at you.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much, man. I know you got to get back to the family. Thank you for taking this time, bro.
Absolutely. And good luck to
Yeah.
your new little one, man.
Thank you. I know, man. We're so excited, man. We'll be in Tulsa. Whenever we're in Tulsa, I'll definitely have to come through, and you'll have to meet my little one.
I can't wait, man.
Yeah. All right. See you, Taylor.
Thanks, guys.
Oh my goodness, that was awesome. So grateful to have the opportunity to talk with Taylor. Obviously, most of y'all are already following Taylor, but thank you so much for coming on here and for being here. I have another guest who's going to be coming on, Dexter Sullivan.